Hello. Somebody here today will have their memory completely erased. In fact, possibly half of those watching this video will have their memory erased. Imagine all those memories which you've had and treasured in your life. For example, remember your first kiss, your mission experience possibly, your wedding date, possibly the birth of a baby. All of these things add up to our experience in life. There's a condition in this world that's sweeping like a virus, and it's an agonizing phenomenon. Many researchers don't even know what the cause is. What of course I'm talking about today is Alzheimer's disease, and this is a threat to many of us today. We're all at risk for it. There's no specific race or gender that it's predominantly chasing after. It's just our human population. We're all subject to this horrible disease. As I talk to you today, I'd like to give you 3 different examples of how this is happening. And I'd like to be able to persuade you, possibly, in how we can become aware of this situation and what we're able to do about this. To start off with, I would like to tell you about an experience that I had. I had recently got engaged, which is one of my treasured memories, and I got a job at an assisted living home. And something that I realized while I was working there is that many of these, as a precursor, many of these patients, in fact all of them, suffered some sort of memory loss or another. So these were people that you would literally have to carry out of bed in order to get them to the table and to feed them their meals. One thing I realized was that the care workers really didn't have a passion for these people. They really didn't see the human side behind what they were doing. All that they knew is that people needed to come to the table so that they could have their breakfast. We take them back to their room. Come lunchtime, we bring them back out, and then so on and so forth for any of their meals. I remember one lady in particular, she would try to take food from other people's plates, and then the care workers would respond as if she completely had all of her sense with her when she was doing these. They really didn't understand the human side behind Alzheimer's, that there's in fact a person inside of there, so to speak, that there was someone who once lived a normal life, but that person was no longer there. Many researchers are trying to study these behaviors and see what's causing them. We're trying to learn more about this, and it's really difficult to know how to address it. My second example here is actually a very personal example. It was the example of my grandmother. My grandmother, by the way, she was a very bright, intelligent woman. In fact, my grandpa would tell me about each month when the ensign would come out, she'd read it from cover to cover. So she was somebody who really had a lot of intelligence about her and a lot of conviction. She was eventually diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and many of those basic functions just went away with her, whether physical or mental. She became more blunt. She had a harder time socially. She would be very fearful at times, and eventually it got to a point where it impacted her physical health, where she had to be on bed rest. The one thing that we noticed, however, is that there was this instinctive memory that she had about her when she'd see us. There was some sort of familiarity. She didn't know our names necessarily, but what she did know is that people in front of her were family somehow, which was really perplexing to us. And that was a very challenging experience, both for her and for us, all the way up until she passed away, which was a very difficult day. My third example is how we can change this, what we can do to make the difference with these people. I understand that we're not scientists working on a case study of Alzheimer's, and I understand that we probably won't be passing out flyers for Alzheimer's awareness. However, what I have been trying to accomplish in this speech is to realize the human element of Alzheimer's, to become aware that this is a very common disorder. Without a doubt, several of us eventually will be subject to Alzheimer's, unless if there's a cure that's made. And the only challenge that I would give you with this is that we need to be aware of how much of a problem this is, and I want all of us to consider within ourselves what we can do to make a change with this very common problem. There's a lot that we can do for these people to work towards better lives and to feel that companionship of love from other people. There's a lot that we can do for these people. And I would challenge you. You have a brain that works and still has its memory, so put it to good use.